friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I'm super excited to introduce you to one of my brand new dragons. This is Zephyr. Just recently hatched him from a brand new egg I got from Zanzibar. There are 2 eggs, so I've got 2 dragons to introduce you to. This one is Zephyr, and another one will be appearing very shortly in another video, probably in the next week or 2. But wanted to introduce him to you. He is very excited to join the Dragon Librarian horde and be able to read and talk about all these great books with you guys. So I'm going to change things up a little bit today. The past few weeks we've been talking about a lot of different thrillers and stuff like that. And I read another book recently that I really want to talk about today that I think is just absolutely fabulous, and it's a big change from the thrillers and fast-paced novels that we've been discussing recently. Not that we won't be talking about them again very soon, because I've got another one next week that I'm excited about, but I wanted today to talk about this brand new book. It is breathtakingly beautiful. The pace is, I don't want to say slow because that makes it sound bad, but it's not slow, but it is just the most perfect pace. It unfolds gently like a soft wave, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And the book is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. So Ann Patchett is a astonishing author. I love all of her works. I think my favorite one before I read this was probably Dutch House, but she's also written Bel Canto and Run and all these other really fantastic books. These Precious Days was a book of essays that came out last year, so she writes fiction and nonfiction. All of it is fantastic. And there's a couple other really awesome things about her that I didn't know until I read the back of this book, which was she has won a lot of different awards, including the PEN Faulkner Award for Fiction, Women's Prize for Fiction in the UK, and the Dutch House was a finalist for the Pulitzer, which is pretty amazing. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world, which is really cool. And President Biden awarded her a National Humanities Medal in recognition of her contributions to culture, to American culture. Wow. What an amazing person, right? She also owns a bookstore, Parnassus Books, which is, I believe, in Tennessee. So she is just absolutely incredible woman, incredible author. If you have not read anything by her as of right now, what are you waiting for? I'm just kidding. But really, you really should give her a try. She's absolutely fantastic. She's definitely, without a doubt, one of the best American authors living right now at this time. She's just phenomenal. If you have read her work, then you know what I'm talking about, and you know that this book is going to be good. It was also a Reese's Book Club book, which, take that as you will. But I read this. It just recently came out. I absolutely loved it. When I tell you the story about it, you're going to think, there's really not a lot to that. How can you write a whole book about this? But really, it's absolutely phenomenal. So it's about this woman named Laura. It takes place in 2020, spring of 2020, which, COVID, right in the height of COVID, right? So her 3 grown daughters have come to stay with her at this cherry farm that her and her husband own in northern Michigan. That's another really cool thing about it, is this book takes place in Michigan. The whole story takes place in Michigan. It's very cool. So the family owns this cherry farm, a cherry orchard, and the girls, her daughters, have all come out to stay, with their parents while basically the world was collapsing around them, right? COVID hit, their jobs, they have to work remotely, or, they're on hiatus, so they're here. So while they're doing this and while they're helping their parents, harvest these cherries and all this stuff like that, do the work on the orchard, around the orchard, the girls start begging their mom to tell the story of when she was young and in college, and the love story of her youth, which she actually had a relationship with a famous actor named Peter Duke. So this big love affair that the girls found out about, they've always been really interested in it, because obviously their mom, that's not who their mom married, right? But they've never heard this whole story, and they want to know the story. So this book basically goes back and forth between present time and her telling the girls this story and taking it back to when it was actually happening. So you're seeing it through her eyes as it was happening, but you're also experiencing it with her as she's talking to her family about it. So that doesn't seem like a really riveting novel, right? Okay, it's a book about a mom telling her girls about, you know, this grand love that she had when she was younger. But it is, because this is more than just a story about that. It's a story about love. It's a story about loss. It's a story about family. And what's really, really fascinating about this is that it's such a really clear depiction of youthful love. You know, like that love that you have when you're super young and you fall into it for, like, you know, you're headstrong and you're passionate and it overtakes your whole life and consumes you, versus married love. And I'm not saying that married love cannot have that kind of passion and romance and love, but it's a different kind of enduring, stable love, right? And she goes and just demonstrates both of these kinds of love, and also the third love for family, right? She's discussing her girls that she just loves, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The writing in this book, if you've not read anything by Ann Patchett, I can't even describe to you how beautifully this woman writes. She is just absolutely amazing. Everything is just described in such a beautiful way. The story just sucks you in as a reader. You just feel like you're experiencing it with her, and you're remembering all the kinds of things that you got up to when you were young, no matter what they might have been, because everybody falls in love, right? Everybody experiences that feeling when they're young, and that heady rush of excitement and joy. And the way she describes that, and the way she describes the orchard, and oh, this book is just really something else. It's very special. Like I said, Dutch House, which is her previous fiction, the latest fiction novel that she wrote before this, was, I thought, going to be my favorite book of all time by her, because it's absolutely beautiful. But this, I think, just might even be better. It's just so, so good. It's beautifully written. It's heartfelt. It's just absolutely amazing. If you really like stories about families, if you really like stories about love, if you like, you know, introspection on, like, you know, youth and family and all that kind of stuff, do not hesitate to go out and read this book. It is absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. I was so sad to see it end. I did not want to say goodbye to any of these characters. Absolutely beautiful. I love this book so much. Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. So that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope that the book sounds really interesting and that you really want to read it as well. If so, please feel free to come get it from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. Thank you so, so much for watching, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.